Hey guys, what's up? It's Danielle. So for today's video, I'm going to be taking you through my updated setup for my Filofax original pocket. I'm still using the same writing utensils that I was before, just a gray mild liner. And then I don't think I have any of the 0.7s left, so I'm actually using the Papermate Inkjoy 0.5. So you're going to see, my handwriting is a little bit smaller, which honestly, I'm okay with that. So anyways, let's get into it. So this is what it looks like when you first open it. I recently started doing this where I have a list of the fruits and veggies and also cheese, because to me, cheese is a food group that I can snack on because I tend to forget and I'll reach for other things. So I have this same exact list on the front of my fridge so that when I'm hungry, I'm not grabbing like bad foods, if that makes sense. So I just kind of, leave that in here or just near my planner just so that I'm making sure that I'm not eating a lot of bad stuff. So this, if you guys have been with me for a while, it should look familiar, and it's called the Law of Allowing. So I actually found this, I believe it was 3 years ago when I was at my doctor's office, and it was on somebody's business card. So I love this. You guys know I put this in my planners, every once in a while, and then I'll take it out and then I'll put it back in. So the law of allowing: peace of mind will allow peace in the body. Peace in the body will allow healing. Healing can't be forced, only allowed. And then in this pocket, I know I said I don't really use pockets, but this time I am. I just cut down some of the white super sticky Post-its that I have. And then I also went ahead and put like a little just piece of note card on the back, just so that it doesn't lose its stickiness. So this is basically what I like to use on a day-to-day basis, just because it's very streamlined, and I'm actually going to leave it like that so I can't see it. So I actually made this dashboard, and it's been quite a while since I've actually made one. So I used stickers that I had on hand, and it's a combination of Happy Planner sticker books that you can get for like $1 from Michael's or Joann's, and also, I'm trying to think, some of these are also from the Target dollar spot like last year. So I do have the little Filofax plastic cover thing over the top of it just to protect it, but basically I wanted something that really represented me, and I kind of feel like this is it. I love coffee. This sticker actually said boss lady, but I hate anything that says, boss lady or anything like that. I can't stand it. Boss girl, like, really? So I cut it so that they're separate, and I like that a lot better. Busy bee, because a lot of the times that's how I feel. And then I love cacti. I love lemons. Y'all know I love my lemons. And then this is a part of a sticker book that you can get from Michael's or Joann's, and it's like $1. They're called Doodle Monsters. And honestly, they're some of my favorite stickers. Probably just because it reminds me of like when I was a kid. I don't know. And I kind of think of myself like this, especially when I'm at work. I believe in being my best self, so I have that on there. And then Your Heart Knows the Way by Rumi. I love Christmas, so I put that on there as well. And, love my pens. So I'm just going to move to the back, because otherwise this video is going to be super long. So on the back, just kind of continuing with that, I really like this. It says, behind you all your memories, before you all your dreams, around you all who love you, within you all you need. And I thought that was really nice. And then, totally random, but I have a little Tsum Tsum sticker of Bullseye from Toy Story, just because I think he's so adorable. He acts like a dog, and I love dogs. So I redid the page that I had with quotes on it, and I added a couple more, so that's been updated. This is kind of like my where to start page. So if I need like a no-nonsense approach to my planner, you know, maybe I'm in a rush or whatever, then I can just come here and I can basically go through all of these, or I can just pick and choose which ones. Still have running to-dos, my don't forget section. I added a pending section just so that I wouldn't forget. So these were both times that I was going to hang out with my best friend. And then I just have like a notes page of like things that I want to try potentially. So I kind of just, you know, left it there so I can just add to it. Okay, now we're getting into my daily, weekly sections, primarily daily in my opinion. These are all the things that I need to buy that are, I don't know, things that I'm probably going to forget to buy that I've run out of. I cut this in half because I did have the budgeting portion on the bottom, but I realized I wasn't really using it because I did change up my budget, and I've been reviewing my budget monthly, so it tends to change a little bit. So I realized that that wasn't something that I needed, but I still have my bill tracker and then my due dates for my bills. Then we get into my dailies. So I know this looks really crazy right now, but this is going to come out and then it's still, you know, going to look crazy. So I still have all of my weekly tasks right here. And then what I actually started doing was writing down what I'm having for dinner that night right below the day, just because I'm trying something new, excuse me, and I'll explain that a little bit further on. But you can see I have like these little boxes down at the bottom. So the 4 boxes are for tracking my water intake. I try to drink 2 gallons of water a day. My water bottle holds about half a gallon, so you know I got to drink 4 of them. And then the 5th square, which is separate, is for whether I worked out or not. And it tends to be different because on days that I work, I don't actually work out. I walk 5 miles a day on average when I am at work, so that tends to be my workout for that day. I have this, which is just like things that I'm trying to work on right now. So journaling, just focusing on my emotions, my budgets, building my base up like for money, and then my monthly savings challenge. And then I hardly ever do this, but I did add a little birthday sticker because one of my friends at work is turning 29, and honestly, I can't believe it because he told me last year, and I can't believe it's been that long, but he's probably one of the best, I wouldn't say my best friend, but he's probably one of the best people that I've known at work thus far. So I just want to make sure that I get him a cake and that, you know, he feels special, because I feel like people don't really appreciate everything that he does. And then I'm actually going to be at a wedding on Saturday in Cleveland, so that should be fun. And I also get to see my mama and my mama's baby cats. So I do have a couple of weeks out, and I think I mentioned before I like to have at least a month of these in here. A couple blank ones. This is a savings challenge that I created myself, and you know, it just kind of depends on the month. It's not always the same, so I can give myself a little bit of leeway if, you know, something pops up. So I'm not trying to aim for perfection. I'm just trying to, you know, get a little bit done. And then you guys have seen my menu and grocery planner. So what I started doing 2 weeks ago now is when I make my list, and then I come home and I have all the groceries, I will go through, and anything that I was supposed to buy that was on my list, I will put, green marker, or it's actually a green mild liner next to it. Anything I was not supposed to buy has red next to it. And that just kind of helps me to see, what, excuse me, exactly I bought that I wasn't supposed to. And then if I'm in budget, this would be highlighted in green, but obviously I wasn't, so it's in red. So you can just kind of see. And then I'm also putting if I'm under, how much I'm under by for the week. And then, obviously if I were to go over, I would put how much I went over. So with this, I think I've mentioned to you guys plenty of times in these videos that I am actually recovering from an eating disorder. And it's, really difficult for me to always force myself to eat like every 3 or 4 hours. So I kind of idiot-proofed it. Not the nicest terminology, but basically I have it for home and for work. Now, it's not exactly every 3 to 4 hours. Sometimes I have to spread it out a little bit longer just because of what's going on. But basically the idea behind this is just to get me to eat, because I'm actually a recovering binge eater. And if you guys have ever known anybody who has had that, or if you have it yourself, you know that it is a very vicious cycle where you pretty much starve yourself for the entire day and then you binge at the end. So I'm really trying to work on that and trying to make my health more of a priority. So this is definitely helping, I would say. Got my bill tracker, which I only have part of it filled out because I know I only bought these at the end of May. Building regular savings is still the same. My budget tracker, which I'm only counting groceries, gas, and then miscellaneous and personal care. I plan on paying back my student loan with the highest interest rate first, so that's why I have this. I did put this in here. This is also in my Holborn, which I use as a wallet, but it's my list of sinking funds and then the things that I'm using cash only for because I tend to overspend. Just some white Post-its that I cut down. And then this is pretty much the same. I just took out May and June. I put in July and August. And then I still have my pending or my, later in the year appointments on a sticky note. I put September and October in here. This is going to eventually say November, December. Still have the birthdays and the Filofax yearly. Okay, now we are in my notes section, and I'm trying to make sure that I do not lose, my love of math. And I feel like I rely way too much on calculators at this point, even though I have to do algebra pretty much every day at work. But that being said, I just want to brush up on all of these. Khan Academy wouldn't let me choose more than this. So once I'm done with a couple of these, I'm probably going to add a couple more. But as I go through all of the lessons, I'm just going to highlight them. I just want to brush up on all of it. And then I shared this with you guys last time. It is a meal planner for work specifically. So again, kind of tying in with, being in recovery, but also trying to make my life easier. I have a list of all the ingredients I need for my most made meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then you'll see it says breakfast, lunch, and dinner repeated. And that's where I actually list out the meals that I'm making. I have recurring tasks. It's not reoccurring, it's recurring, just FYI. It keeps pissing me off every time I see it. So on here, I finally finalized this, and I have added a couple of them in. So you'll see I have like little letters on the side. So M is for monthly, Q is for quarterly. And then, you know, obviously if I would be doing something annually, it would have A or a Y for yearly. And then I still have this, which is kind of like my cleaning schedule. And then I also listed my domino chore at the bottom, which, if you don't know what that is, basically it is the chore that you do that gets you motivated to finish all the other ones. So for me, it's cleaning my bathroom. I have a list of my self-care stuff just because, like I said, I'm very terrible at taking care of myself. And then I have a no purchase list. So I have it split up into a couple of different categories, but food, home, personal care, miscellaneous, and then office and planner stuff, hobbies. Still have my grocery guide in here, which I need to update this at the bottom because that ends up being way too much food for me. Still have my, you know, planner thing for Houston for work. Upcoming videos, crochet projects that I'm currently working on or that I'm, you know, planning on working on. And then this is different from what you guys just saw because I technically could put my crochet projects that I'm working on in here, but this is just for like everything else. So it's stuff for work, but it's also stuff like, you know, just for home or whatever, or like vacations. And then just my do not forget section. And then on the back to research. And then this is kind of like where I'm planning out like my different vacations that I plan on taking. I need to add Poland in here and Italy again. And then I updated this. It's just me tracking when I last purchased something. So I have one for home, so like toilet paper or like sponges, you know, things of that nature. Stuff for my cat. And then on the back, just when I last purchased gas. Things I want to try, like for, you know, home. So like dishwasher tablets, dish soap, whatever. List of tattoos that I want, which I will never get more than one of these at a time because my rule is I can only get one every year. And I do that so that, you know, I don't regret getting what I ended up having, if that makes sense. And then this is still the same. All right, let's get to the very back. So again, I did put in more stuff for my recovery type things. So that's why you see all of this. And I put it right next to all of this because, you know, kind of goes together. And then I updated my cleaning stuff. So my daily, weekly, and then I believe I have monthly on the back. Yep. So basically the idea behind this is that obviously I do these every day, but then for the weekly and the monthly, I just choose one to do like every day. So hasn't happened yet, but I'm planning on it. All right. And then this, I think is still the same. It's just basically for the sake of reference. Just have like my laundry schedule and then weekly tasks. This has all of my categories that I used to use and then 2 minutes to piece. Couple of these little kitty note pages, which I actually cut down from a notepad that my cousin gave me for Christmas. And then in here, in this zippy pocket that I got from Etsy, I have, you can see I have some stickers. I have a couple of different kinds of sticky notes from the Target Dollar Spot like 2 years ago. And then on the very back, I think I've mentioned before that I have a lot of trouble with meal planning. So that's why I have this. It just has a list of breakfasts and then also lunches and dinners that I can make whether I'm going to be at work or whether I'm going to be at home. So anyways, I have the little Filofax thing that came with my Holborn in here, just kind of as like a page protector. I have nothing in this back pocket. And that is it, you guys. Sorry if, you know, this ended up being a little bit wonky. I have a different setup for filming right now, so I apologize. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all, and I will talk to you all in my next video. Bye, guys.